Sleeping it off in Rapid City. There's a lot going on here, but you look like a clever lot, and I'll let you find your way. On a 700-foot thick shelf of Cretaceous pink sandstone, nel mezzo, 6th floor, turn right at the elevator, the Hotel of the Century, elegant dining, dancing, solarium. Around the block from the Black Hills School of Beauty and campaign headquarters of one Jack Billion. Together we can move forward. The exact center of the Oglala-known universe, Kante Wamakwakwe, or only 30 miles or so away, southwest off Highway 87. I awaken to the sound of the DM&E rattling through this sleeping town, sounding its horn as it snakes its way through, hauling coal from nowhere, through nowhere, and then some. Old rocks and distance, a few hawks overhead. 4 a.m. Per una selva oscura. Quack, quack, quack! Shrieks of a velociraptor in the closed dinosaur shop. Vroom! Roars the triceratops like Texas thunder. They keep the tape going through the night, always have done. No one knows why. The Bible store respires in its sanctum as if in an outsized black glass humidor. This is a sacred place, a holy place. 4 a.m. in a sacred place. I can tell you this is a sacred place. I needn't be told. It's in the air. I feel it. This old heritage hotel, this is a sacred place. The tour buses are lined up outside it, awaiting the countless pilgrims. On the floor, my shoe. Under the bed, even my shoe is blessed. The Lord's blessing is everywhere to be found. The lambs of Christ are among us. You can tell by the billboards with fetuses out there on the highway through the buzzing, sodium-lit night. Semis grinded out on the interstate, hauling toothpaste wheels of Munster rapeseed oil. Blessed is the abundance, blessed the commerce across the Cretaceous hogback. 100-million-year-old Lakota sandstone, clays, shale, gypsum, and down through the basins of ancient seabeds, past the souvenir shops and empty missile silos, the ghosts of 98-foot-long Titans and Minutemen, 150,000 pounds of thrust, stainless steel, nickel alloy-coated warheads, quartz ceramic warheads webbed in metal honeycomb, 8 megaton payloads, range 6,300 miles. Nole me tangere. God bless America. We're right on top of it, baby. This is why you're here. Close enough, anyhow, just 11 miles west of Castle Rock, in a pasture right off 79, the middle of the heart of this great land. There is a sign. This is a sacred place. Up there in the hills of vast ponderosa feathered batholith, you can see it from space. 2-billion-year-old exposed rock rising from the prairie, a faint blue shape on the horizon when approaching from a distance. But seen close at hand, grim and black. Paha, Sapa. Savage cliffs and precipices, fantastic forms, sometimes resembling towns, some castellated fortresses. A sacred place. Custer once came through in the summer of '74 with that mustache and golden hair and espied here the multitude of flowers, 17 varieties in a space of 20 feet. One could pick 7 different kinds at dinner without ever leaving one's seat. It was a strange sight, he wrote, to glance back at the advancing columns of cavalry and behold the men with beautiful bouquets in their hands. A sacred place. The great white fathers dwell in these hills, noses and foreheads blasted out of granite. Crazy horse, too, 30 stories high, an enormous pod of migmatite glowering east. Big chiefs everywhere. On every street corner in town, life-size bronze likenesses. See the Chicana brushing President Van Buren, bless her. Bless the Chicana in pink rayon, the dutiful city worker, brushing the statue with a toothbrush in the night. There's Nixon at St. Joseph in Third, seated, hands folded and on his lap the way he did, in the midst of delicate negotiations with Mao. This is what it says at the base. Bless them, Nixon and Mao both, men of peace, soldiers of God. The bronze is cold in the high plains night, the eyes they gaze out of our holes. Here at the exact dead center of America, or close enough, just north of here off Highway 79. The buffalo roam in these hills, Paha, Sapa. The bison graze in the shadow of these hills. One angry bull tosses a Harley 30 feet in the air, a big fat biker attached to it 30 feet as well. The sacred bison, he would have ridden among the sacred bison, the biker, ridden as if he were one of their own. Tatanka, Tatanka, cries Kevin Costner. Tatanka, concurs Kicking Bird. Tatanka, agrees Wind in his hair. Bless Kevin Costner. I saw that one on the wide screen in Dolby surround sound. Kevin Costner stayed in this hotel, Babe Ruth and Calvin Coolidge too. This is a sacred place. I have come here from far away after many years of wandering, disillusion, and found surcease here from all my cares, surcease here from doubt. Here, at the center of it all, on a great slab of Mesozoic rock, this sanctified ground. Here, yes, here, the dead, solid center of the universe, at the heart of America. Thank you. Another locale, somewhat more loft, the hereafter. At the gates to the hereafter, a rather drab affair, might as well be a union hall in South Milwaukee, but with shackled, sweating bodies along the walls, female chiefly, and not at all miserable, straining like bored sultanas at their fetters, each of them singing a separate song. A Semitic chap, the greeter, I suppose, gives me the quick once-over, and most amused he seems to be. Has me figured. Not unlike a gent I met only last week, a salesman at a stereo shop on Broadway. So, he says, nothing more. So, buttons, says I, in a cavalier mood, and why not? Ushers me into a tiny cinema, a two-seater, really quite deluxe. A great big Diet Coke in the cup holder fizzing away. Okay, he asks. I nod, and the film unrolls. A $20 million home movie it is, featuring yours truly. At the foot of the stairs with the dog, mounting Josette in a new Smyrna love nest, a fraught kitchen showdown with Mom, the suicide, car wreck, home run. You know what these things are like, the outlandish hairdos, pastel bathroom fixtures. The editing is out of this world. The whole shebang in under an hour. The air raid drill on Wednesday morning, 1957, when Tito wet his pants. There I am, beside myself with laughter, miserable little creature. The elemental slow-motion machinery of characters forcing house. Even with all the fancy camera angles, jump cuts, and the rest, might as well be a chain of short features. Animal husbandry, sexual hygiene, Lisboa by night. What a lot of erections, voidings, pretzels, bouncing the ball against the stoop. She really did love you all along. These jealousies and rages of yours, like a disgusting skin condition that never entirely goes away. What catalogs of failure, self-deception. And then the lights come back on. Likewise, the choir's splintered polyphony, with its shards of Sprechzimmer, the Ronettes, whatnot. and in the air around us, something like the odor of a freshly spent cartridge. When my minder asks brightly, "How about another Coke?" And And one final one, anniversary, and the setting for this is South Central Texas, Austin. In the summer, it's hot. You'd figure the hawk for an isolate thing, commanding the Empyrean, taking his ease in the thermals and wind, until that retinal flick, the plunge and shriek. Cruelly perfect at what he is. With crepe myrtle igniting the streets and flowering pansy underfoot, I'd get out there just after dawn each day, before the sun made it over the mesquite and honey locust. Cliff swallows rocketed low over grass, dragonflies darted above. Every day, on the heels of first bird song, Juicehead sleeping rough by the culvert. Before the heat, before the ebb and flow of cicada whir swallowed the world, when the crepe myrtle was still in bloom, when it was the flowering pansies' time in the park and untended lots, and still a touch of cool in the air. I remember once a red tail perched close by on a branch or utility pole. Maybe he came down for a better look, but I think it was so that I might better see him, who reigned over these few acres and beyond, and what it was about him so overmastering. An ugly sheen encouraged some gold in his russet mantle. His belly was white. "Look at me," he seemed to be insisting. "Behold, a pure, wild, heartless thing. Beautiful and horrible, nothing in between." I one day saw him tearing at his prey. He was in the crook of a tree, low and close at hand, fixed on it, drunk with it, mercilessly at it, the sound like a cleaver tearing through meat. Cruelly what he was, nothing else. But on another day, not long after, I heard him perched high on a branch, calling out, crying out in distress, piteously, "Ki-ar! Ki-ar!" A harsh, descending sound, an unrelenting, "Ki-ar! Ki-ar!" Panicked or wounded, terrible in his dismay. Until suddenly, from some other corner of sky, another hawk flew down to join him. Not right there on the same branch, but on another, close by. And soon after that, off they flew together, drifting, spiraling, higher and higher, in partnered loops, wheeling and diving, enraptured by all they were able to do, not as separate beings, but as two. Thank you very much.